Let's talk today about the relationship between masculine energy and feminine energy. How, when you have a strong masculine energy within yourself, that is giving your feminine energy within yourself the space that she needs to really thrive in her feminine energy. We as women want to be very strong in our feminine energy. I want to have a really strong connection with that feminine side of me that is very intuitive, that is very nurturing, that is very compassionate, that is very willing and wanting to serve and help those around me. I want that. I want to be a very feminine woman. But something that I am realizing and recognizing is that you cannot operate in healthy, strong feminine energy if you are not also operating in healthy, strong masculine energy. So let me break this down really quickly. I'm going to explain feminine energy. I'm going to explain masculine energy really fast because my video that I did last week, I went into more depth on that. So I don't want to be a dead horse, but I want to give some examples. And then I have 3 different ways that feminine energy is supported by the masculine energy in 3 different situations. Okay, so let's kind of go through masculine energy. Masculine energy, it is not just for the men. The name definitely throws us off. It throws me off sometimes, but I don't really know what else to call it. But masculine and feminine energies, those are just how every human operates. We all, men and women, have masculine and feminine energy within us. It's almost just a way to compartmentalize the different ways we relate to and experience life. So the masculine energy, that is the action energy. It's more of the doing, it's the protective, it's the directive, the action energy, and the providing energy. Those are kind of the 4 core qualities or pillars of masculine energy. Everything else kind of falls under that. But the masculine energy is the one that's going to set a direction of where is it that we're wanting to go. It's going to set up the structure. That's going to kind of be the provision part. What kind of a structure do we need to be able to get to where we need to go? Protective, it's the one that's going to be setting boundaries, doing the things that is going to keep you safe. And then action. Action is, setting the alarm and then getting up when the alarm rings. Those are masculine traits. And does that not sound familiar? Do we not all experience that every now and again? We operate through masculine energy because that is what moves life forward. That is what helps us get goals done. It's what helps us get to where we need to be. And then the feminine energy, that is more of how we operate on the emotional level. Like, how do we experience life through our feelings? So the feminine energy, the 4 main pillars, I guess, that you could say for that would be receptivity, being able to receive things, intuition. I wrote them down because sometimes I forget. Intuition or feeling, like, what am I feeling right now? What types of things am I experiencing in my body? The next one is connection. Feminine energy wants to connect with other people. It wants to have a relationship and it wants to build the relationship. And then the last one is creative. The feminine energy is the creating energy. It wants to create art. It wants to create beauty. It wants to create life. It wants to create things that bring joy to us. And again, does that not sound familiar? Don't we all operate that way? And haven't you met men who also operate in their feminine energy? They want to create music. They want to create art. They want to build strong relationships with people. That is just your human emotional side, if you want to say. So if you were to split your your psyche up, I guess. One side of it is going to be action based or oriented, and the other would be more feelings based oriented. It's a very basic way of explaining masculine and feminine, and I don't think it's the best way to explain it because there's so many different nuances to it. But if you're having a hard time really understanding it, which is where I was when I was first learning about masculine and feminine, I kept getting caught in the masculine is men, feminine is women. It's not okay to be in your masculine. How do I get rid of my masculine? All of that stuff. And so if you're kind of confused on that, just think we all have it. Action, moving forward, feelings, being connected. Those are kind of the two different ways that you can look at it. Okay, so let's look at the 3 different areas. There are so many, but I'm just going to do 3 right now, and I'm going to kind of use some personal examples and then just some basic examples of how when you have a strong masculine presence, when you have a strong masculine energy, how it actually will help you to operate in your feminine energy. Like I said, we as women, we have a natural desire to be very connected to our feminine energy. One of the reasons that these were termed or these were called masculine and feminine energy is because in the olden days or back when there were more of like the gender roles, the feminine energy was more in line with how a woman was expected to act or how she did act. That she was more on the receiving end of things. She was more connected to her feelings and her intuition. And I do honestly still believe that. I believe that women have an easier time connecting to their feminine side because I feel like it is a natural gift from our heavenly parents to be more receptive, to be more connected to intuition. Like it just comes more naturally. But that doesn't mean that men don't also operate in that way. And again, with the same way with masculine energy, traditionally that was the men's role. They were to protect, they were to lead, they were to provide, they were to be more of like the action-based, the outward focused. And again, I definitely believe in traditional gender roles, and I believe that just like the feminine, the woman more easily connects with feminine energy. I believe that men more easily and naturally connect with masculine energy, and I think it's supposed to be that way. I think it's by divine design, but I also, again, definitely believe that women do. We know that we do. We have to also operate in masculine energy. It's just going to look a little bit different. And that is an episode for a different time, getting into what does it look like for a man to be in masculine energy versus a woman. It's actually really interesting, and I will get to that later, but not today. Okay, so when a woman is connected to her own masculine energy, it allows her feminine energy to feel safe enough to thrive and to grow and to be more receptive of the things that are coming to her. So let's look at the first example of goal setting. You can probably think right off the top of your head, what does masculine energy do? How does it support goals? So the feminine energy is going to be the one that has the feeling like, I feel like we need to start eating better as a family, or I feel like I need to start exercising more. There needs to be more movement. So maybe that's the goal that you're going to come up with. Your feminine energy is going to create the idea of what goal you're wanting to work towards. That is the feminine energy's job, because that's going to be more of the feeling. It's going to be more of that creativity. And then think, what does the masculine do? If we know that the masculine is the one that is more action-based, is the one that creates the structure, that provides and protects, what do you think your masculine energy does? What is its role when you are setting a goal? The masculine's job when setting a goal is to first listen to the feminine energy. Very important. They need to be connected to each other. Your feminine energy needs to know that your masculine energy will listen and support it when it has an idea. How many of us talk to each other or talk to ourselves? I talk to myself all day long, all the time. I'm always coming up with different ideas of, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And then there's another part of me that's like, oh my gosh, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Why should we do that? Maybe it would be really important for you to get rid of that negative one and have a more supportive role, a more supportive person that is talking to you. So that is really important, to make sure that your masculine energy, the one that is going to actually accomplish the goal that you're wanting, make sure that you are being supportive to yourself. When you have a feeling like, I need to start exercising, don't shut that down. Support that. Because if you support yourself when feelings come to you, you're going to have more feelings coming to you. That is the relationship between feminine and masculine energy. Your feminine energy is going to have an idea, it's going to have a feeling. Your masculine energy's job is to be like, that sounds great. I will create a system and a structure that will make sure that your goal is met, that the feeling that you're feeling is honored, and we're able to accomplish whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish. Like, think of how would you want your spouse or a friend to talk to you if you were to come up with an idea. That is the relationship, feminine and masculine energy. So the masculine energy is going to be the one that's going to create this structure. Like, okay, do we want to be getting up in the morning and exercising, or do we want to do this in the evening? That's going to be your feminine opportunity to answer. It would feel better for me to exercise in the mornings. Perfect. Then the masculine can get to work. Okay, great. Do we want to get up before everybody else, or do we want to do this maybe after the kids, leave for school? And then your feminine can think about it and think, okay, it would feel better for me, and I know that I would actually exercise if I did it after the kids left for school and I didn't actually have to get up extra early to do that. This is for me personally. I'm not going to get up extra early to exercise, but I will definitely exercise after the kids leave for school. So then my masculine can say, perfect, now we know what time we want to exercise. We're going to set up the schedule. We're going to decide what type of exercising we want to do. And then here's the kicker. When that time comes, when 8:15 rolls around for me, I am exercising. I don't think about it anymore. My masculine energy has already made the decision. At 8:15, you turn on the exercise video and you exercise. That's what we've already decided. So when you're working on strengthening your masculine energy, one of the best things that you can do to strengthen it is to actually follow through. Don't let yourself think about it. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of it. If you've already made the decision, follow through. Make sure you follow through. And then after you followed through, you can reevaluate and you can say, all right, feminine energy, did that feel good? Was that a good time for us? How did that feel for you? And then if adjustments need to be made, you can then make those adjustments. And then the next day, you follow through on those adjustments. You make sure that your that your masculine energy is trustworthy. That when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Because if you can start to trust that side of you, that once you've made a decision, you're going to do it, then that allows that more emotional side of you, the feminine side of you, to trust that when you feel like something needs to happen, it's going to happen. How many times have we decided we're going to exercise, and then when the time rolls around, we're like, no, I don't really feel like it. Maybe not today. I'll do it tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. Whatever. What we're doing is we're teaching ourselves we can't trust our masculine energy. We can't trust that side of us that is going to set the schedule, that we're going to throw it out. And we need to start trusting that. We need to start strengthening that so that we know that once we've made a decision, it's going to happen. This is huge in goal setting. Super, super, super important for your healthy feminine to be able to speak to your masculine, and for your masculine to listen and then act on the feelings that your feminine has had. Isn't that kind of cool? Like, I think it's so fun for me. It helps so much to compartmentalize. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to that they're like, it just makes so much more sense if you can kind of like separate the two instead of just thinking, I'm just crazy. Like, I just have so many thoughts in my head. I have so many feelings in my body. I don't know what to do with everything. If you understand what the masculine role is, and if you understand what the feminine role is, and if you can understand how they can support each other, for me and for a lot of people that I've talked to, it just makes things so much more simple because it like breaks it down. It's like trying, if you're trying to do a math problem all in your head and it's like a 4-step math problem, for me, no, I can't even do 1-step math problems in my head. Like, that's so confusing for me. That's so hard for me. But I also know people that that's really easy for them. But for a lot of people, it's easier to break it down. So if this way of thinking is helpful for you, I love that for you. Keep going with me. Keep learning and understanding the relationship between the two. If this isn't helpful for you, if you feel like it's more confusing, that's totally fine too. We all operate differently. We all think different ways, and things that make sense for me is not going to make sense for everybody else. But for me, this helps so much to be able to be like, all right, my masculine's job is to set the timer and to get up when my alarm rings. That's my masculine's job. My feminine's job is to decide what feels right, what time feels right for me to get up. That's my feminine's job. So every morning when my alarm rings, I get to have a conversation with my masculine. Are we going to get up? And you know what? We do. Every single day. Because my masculine is strong. I trust my masculine. I trust her to get me where I need to go. Because she has proven over and over and over again that she does. If that's not you, if you are having a hard time getting up when you've set the alarm, reevaluate. Do you need to have a different time? What would feel like a good time to get up? And then in the morning when your alarm rings, you don't think about it. You're just like, I've made the decision. This is just what we're going to do. And you get up and you do it. Do it continuously, constantly, and then you will strengthen your relationship with your masculine energy. You're going to start to trust it. Okay, the next way that your masculine energy can support your feminine energy, this is going to be more of a personal experience, is through triggers. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've recently gone through a divorce, and I have been healing my feminine and my masculine energy, the relationship with each other. One of the things that I dealt with a lot in my marriage was self-abandonment. I learned and I was trained to self-abandon myself to keep the peace for somebody else. And so there was a lot of, I was not connected to my feminine energy because I had shoved her down for so long. When I would have a feeling come up, I wouldn't listen because I was afraid of the reaction that I would get from other people. My masculine energy, I learned to completely be weak in my masculine energy. I wouldn't stand up for myself. I wouldn't set boundaries. And so when I got out of this relationship, I had an opportunity to have a really good conversation with myself. And I had feelings even before the relationship, before it even started, way back when I was younger. I had the feeling that this was not going to be a good relationship for me. But I was really afraid and I didn't act on that feeling. So I had the feeling and I shoved it down. And also that masculine side of me didn't listen and it didn't act. So what I did when I got out of that relationship, I had that conversation with myself and I said, all right, I will never self-abandon myself again. Never. If I ever have a feeling like a situation is not safe for me, if a certain person is not safe for me, or if I need to leave, I will never self-abandon. I will act on it. So my masculine energy had the opportunity to step up and say, I will get us out of whatever feels wrong. I will do the actions to make sure that you feel safe. So I did this like months before this experience that I'm going to share with you. But I had that kind of opportunity to strengthen both my feminine and my masculine. And it can happen like this. You make the decision. You don't have to spend months strengthening your feminine energy. You can just decide, I will listen when intuition comes. And then your masculine can say, and I will act when you feel like I need to act. I will do it. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. But you can make the decision like that. It doesn't have to take months. So that's what I did. I made that decision. And then there was an opportunity for this decision to be tested. So my children's father wanted them earlier than was scheduled for one of the holiday visits. He just expected that I would give him what he wanted, because that's how it has been. I mean, really no fault to him to thinking that it would go the way he wanted, because I have always just bent over backwards whatever he wanted. But he was in for a bit of a rude awakening, because both my feminine and my masculine energy were like, hell to the no. When I say no, it means no. So I had an opportunity to have a feeling of, this doesn't feel right for me. This doesn't feel right for my children. And then my masculine energy had the opportunity to act on it. And boy, did she act on it. She said no. And no matter how hard he pushed against, how much he wanted it, she held firm in no. I said no, and no is a complete sentence. There was no explaining. It was just no. Now, my feminine energy had the opportunity to feel all the feelings that came with this. Now, keep in mind, I had spent 20 years caving and abandoning myself. And so there was a lot of fear trapped. My feminine energy felt so anxious, so stressed out. But she never felt scared. I never felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cave to him. Because I knew that I wasn't going to. I had already made that decision, and the masculine energy within me was holding that boundary firm. I was not backing down. So I knew that I was safe because I was not backing down, but I still felt the extreme anxiety of old experiences, of old traumas come up. So this is where it was really, really cool, and how it was so important for me to have a really good relationship with my masculine, to allow my feminine to do what she needed to do to heal. So your feminine energy, she is the feeling energy. That is the side of you that feels things. So it's also the side of you that allows trauma to be released from your body. The feminine energy is very connected to your body. And we know through studies that trauma is stored in the body, in the cells. So have you guys ever seen like a dog after they take a bath, or after they've kind of gone through something a little bit stressful? They will shake, like they'll just shake their entire body. That is them releasing trauma from their body. Animals naturally do this. You'll see horses do it. You'll see dogs do it. They naturally release trauma through their bodies by shaking. And there are somatic exercises that you can do that will trigger this release, and your body will actually shake. So I had the opportunity to do this. And while it was one of the most uncomfortable experiences of my life so far, it was so uncomfortable, and there was so much anxiety, there was so much stress, but there was no fear. I knew that I was safe. I knew my feminine energy was safe. I knew what she was doing was releasing trauma. She was releasing trapped emotions. I shook like full body for probably like 20 minutes. I felt like I was having a seizure. My jaw chattered, my body shook, and I just released so much. After that, I went for a run. I am not a runner, but I needed movement through my body. I went on a run. I just exhausted myself as much as I could. I did muscle tightening. Have you guys ever done that where you go through your body and you tighten different parts of your body and then you relax them? I was doing all of these and I was releasing so much trauma. The reason that I was able to do that is because I knew that my boundary was safe. I knew that I wasn't going to be self-abandoning. I knew that I wasn't going to have to give something what I didn't feel safe giving. That part was taken care of. My masculine energy had already decided, we will never self-abandon again. I've got you. When you feel the answer is no, come hell or high water, I will never let you self-abandon again. And it did the actions that it needed to do. Was I scared? Yes. Was I stressed out? Yes. But I knew that that masculine energy was there, that it was strong, and that I could count on it. I had learned to trust myself when it came to the actions that needed to be taken to protect myself. So while I was going through the release of the trauma and the stress of the release and the discomfort of the release, as I was feeling all of the feelings, screaming in my pillow, crying, all of the things, it was like 10 months of healing in like an hour. I was exhausted and so sore the next day. But I was safe. I was safe. And that was such an incredibly powerful experience for me, recognizing how vital it is for us to have a healthy masculine combined with healthy feminine. Because my masculine was so strict and strong in the boundaries that it had set, because that's what I needed, I didn't stress about whether or not I was going to cave to him. I just focused on feeling my emotions, and so much was released. That I had faith in myself before then. I trusted my masculine energy before then because I had made the decision, months before. But can I just tell you, the amount of gratitude that I had for myself holding firm in that time, the amount of trust the more trust that I gained to myself, the ability, I was so proud of myself that I was so brave, that I had the courage to say no, that I didn't back down, that I stayed firm in what felt right for me. And in the end, it worked out exactly the way that it needed to. It was beautiful and it was perfect and it was wonderful. And at the end of the day, everybody got what they wanted. My children's father didn't get them as early as he wanted, but he still got them for the holiday. I was able to release a lot of those emotions and a lot of that trauma. I got what I needed in that time. So your masculine energy, do not discredit it. Do not try to get rid of it. Your masculine is what allows your feminine to be at her highest, strongest level. If my masculine had not been where it was, I would have self-abandoned. I would have created more trauma for myself instead of being able to release. So it's so important. These go hand in hand. You cannot be a highly functioning feminine woman without also being highly functioning in your masculine energy. Really quick, I know again that we as women want to strengthen our feminine energy. We want to live a lot of our time in our feminine energy, and that's wonderful and that's good. I think for every person it's going to look different. But the key, the foundation, is to make sure you have the structure for the feminine to flow within. So I knew that I was safe. I had this structure. I could trust myself. And then I let myself feel and flow and experience all the emotions that I need to experience inside of that structure because I knew that I was safe. I hope that makes sense. Okay. The last way that I'm going to show you how masculine energy supports feminine energy is in parenting. I think that the more that you watch these and study these and start to recognize masculine and feminine energy, you're going to see it everywhere because I do. I see it. I'll be watching movies And I'm like, oh, look at her. She's in her healthy masculine energy. Look at her go. She's letting her feminine energy do what she needs to do because her healthy masculine is setting the boundaries. Or I'll recognize, oh, girl, your masculine is not where it needs to be. You need to strengthen that. And then you'll be able to, be experiencing life the way you want to. It's really fun. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to parenting. So this is also going to be a little bit more personal. I'm just going to share with you kind of how my masculine helps me in my parenting. And then you will probably see it in your parenting or in your parents' parenting or friends' parenting or whatever. So my masculine sets the time that we're going to get up every morning. So my feminine, I don't like to be rushed. I don't like rushing around in the morning. I want us all to be able to have some time together in the morning. I want to eat breakfast. I want to do scripture study. Those are some things that I want to do with my children before they go to school. So I had those feelings like it would feel really good for me to not be stressed out and rushing around in the mornings. It would feel really good for us to be able to get some of our scripture study done in the morning and to eat breakfast together. So then my masculine listens and it's like, that sounds great. I love this idea. I want to support you. So therefore, I'm going to set an alarm in the mornings. And then my masculine is going to come back to my feminine and be like, what time would you like to get up in the morning? Like, what time feels good for you, keeping in mind that these are the things that you want to do. And so I'm able to feel and think, you know what? It would feel really good for me to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and to spend about 20 minutes meditating or with myself in the morning. And then I will get up around 6:30 to actually get my girls out of bed. Now, I like to again, pretend that there's these two different people inside of me. There's the feminine side and the masculine side, and they're communicating. Really, it's all you. Obviously, you know that. It just helps me to compartmentalize. So the masculine is going to come back and say, that sounds like a great plan. So it's going to set my alarm at 6 o'clock in the morning. So when 6 o'clock in the morning comes around, my masculine can either decide, you know what, we're not going to get up. Or it can decide, we have already said that we're going to. I am a woman of my word, so I will do what I say that I'm going to do. And it will get me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have already decided that my masculine is trustworthy. That when I ask it to do something, that it will follow through and do the actions that I need it to do so that I can live that joyful, happy, relaxed morning that I want to live. So every single morning at 6 o'clock, my masculine turns off the alarm. I get up. I do my meditating at 6:30, between 6:30 and 6:40. I am up getting my girls out of bed. And then we come downstairs. We do either, we watch a Come Follow Me video or we watch The Chosen while I'm making breakfast. Now, let's dissect this a little bit and let's look at what is the feminine and what is the masculine. The masculine is the one that actually gets me out of bed and upstairs to wake up my girls. My feminine is the one that now that we have this time, I can decide what we do. Some days we're going to watch a Come Follow Me video. Some days we're going to watch The Chosen. And then I can decide, what do I want to do for breakfast? Some days it's going to be a bigger hot meal, and some days it's going to be more relaxed fruit and cereal type of a meal. So my feminine can flow within the structure that my masculine has put together for our morning routine. My feminine did not want to be rushed around. It wanted to have breakfast together, do some type of scripture study, and not be rushed. Those were the 3 requirements. Then my masculine put together the structure of, okay, we get the kids up at between 6:30 and 6:40. We have all of this time. By 7:30, I'm taking my daughter to school. So that is how they work together. Your feminine has ideas. This is what I would love it. It would feel so good for me if this is what my mornings looked like. And then your masculine is going to come and be like, I got you, girl. And it's going to create a whole structure that is going to support that. Isn't that so cool? I think that is so fun. I think that's such it's so fun to recognize the different parts of me instead of just being like, I'm kind of a hot mess. I can compartmentalize and say, this is my feminine's job, this is my masculine's job, this is how they work together, this is how they support each other. And I am so proud of my masculine for being on point, for doing the things that it needs to do to facilitate the life that I want to live. And it also helps me to know these things so that when the alarm rings in the morning and maybe I don't really want to get up, I can have a little conversation with myself and say, you know what? I really enjoy the feelings of a relaxed morning. Because I enjoy those feelings so much, I'm going to do the actions that I need to do to make sure that I'm able to experience and feel those relaxed mornings that I want to feel in the morning. I hope this makes sense. Masculine and feminine energy is so powerful. It's so powerful. But it's so important for us to recognize it within ourselves. What are the different roles and how do they support each other? It's really, really cool because it helps you to set those goals. It helps you to heal from triggers or to be able to trust yourself as you're working through different things. It helps you to be a better parent, a better friend, a better person. Because you are recognizing how you are moving through the world, the experiences that you're having, and it gives you purpose. It gives you like a direction. It's like a roadmap, being like, okay, well, this is where I want to be. What do I need to do to get there? And knowing that you have it all within yourself. You already have your feminine and your masculine energy within you. You just need to make sure that you're in a place where you can strengthen your feminine energy and you're in a place where you can strengthen and trust your masculine energy to help you to live the life that you want to live. I love you guys. I hope this has been helpful. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.